Some of you probably wonder what else I do with these oysters other than just fry them up. And I suppose what I can do is show you how I make a oyster stew. This is number 11. I've already shucked some. I'm going after smaller ones. The ones that are over 2.5 inches, just over. They're like shooter oysters. Here's another one. Oyster stew, you don't need them to be that big. However, you can always chop up your larger ones to make them small. While I'm working on making this oyster stew video, getting these small oysters, I found a white dot here in the oyster. I thought I would see if it's a pearl. We'll reveal it. I find a lot of pearls. Oh yeah, that's a big pearl there. So I don't have an extra bag. I'm gonna put this pearl right inside the bag with the oysters, and then I'll collect it out later. That's number 12. So I didn't think I'd find a pearl, but I do find them. So as you can see in some of my videos, that's the largest pearl I think I've found in my video so far. It's right there at the tip of my finger. Right there. Or tip of my thumbs. Four more to go. Being stubborn. Just having a hard time finding where that muscle is in here. It's right there, but a little windy, a little cold. So usually when I'm shucking these oysters, I show you that I lay them out on the beach and in line count them. I was not able to do that. It was so spread out. There's a lot of oyster shell, but not so many oysters here. Watching a seagull try to break an oyster open on the boat launch. They'll fly it up in the air, they'll drop it hard. It's got to fly a lot higher up to get it to drop harder, I think. That's better. I heard a clunk open that time. Getting inside of it. He's going to do it one more time, I bet. He's getting meat out. Now that is how a seagull shucks oysters. Ravens do it, crows do it. I've been watching these seagulls do it, and I decided I would film this. So there you go. Thought I'd show you a comparison of the pearl to a dime. It's a little bit above an 1/8 inch, not quite 3/16 of an inch. It's still pretty cool. You're going to take bacon and you're going to cut it into tiny strips, cross-cut from the bacon slices. It's more for the bacon flavor, so it doesn't matter if you have as much meat in there. So I'm not making that big of a batch. Usually if I'm doing a whole pot of chowder, I usually take and use the whole thing of bacon, but I don't need all that. So you take this and you sprinkle it in here. While the bacon's cooking, you're going to want to have a pan with about, I don't know what this is, maybe a 3-quart pan. Anyway, you're going to need to start the water boiling and just slow cook. I already peeled some potatoes. I don't peel all the skin off, but I peel 90% of it off. And you're going to want to slice them into chunks. And then basically you're making French fries. And then you're cross cutting them into little tiny cube squares, about a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch each. Normally I do a big pot. I am doing a smaller pot. I don't have much room, so I'm only doing 4 potatoes. Like so, and cube those. Now I've done cut these. In the pot they go. Make some starter strips on these celery that have bigger pieces. Just cut them into smaller pieces like so. Put them in the pot along with onion. You're going to cut the onion the same way. It's okay to use the celery greens. It adds good flavor to the chowder. Putting those in, and then we'll cut up the onion. The onion you want to do, I'd say, about 1/2 inch slices. And again, I don't need too many onions, so just a small batch. Cross slice them the other way. And that'll be good for flavor in the chowder. Like so. Turn the heat up, bring that to a boil. Meanwhile, as you can see, the bacon here is cooked down. I will put the bacon in now. And you can add about 1/2 of the grease, just for flavor. If you don't want it to be as fatty, then don't add the grease. While this is heating up, getting ready to go, I'm going to put a little bit of pepper in there. You don't want to dump too much, it'll give it a very peppery flavor. And then I'll add some salt. Again, not too much. The oysters have a salt flavor to them. And of course I can add the oysters now. I'm leaving them whole because they're small. I'm adding some butter. Now this is leftover butter from a rake cook and eat steamer clam, so I thought I'd use it up instead of waste it. So I just have the steamer clam leftovers in the bottom. You're gonna slow boil the chowder until the potatoes are soft. The onions are, you could tell the onions are cooked and the celery's cooked. So that's the only thing you have to wait on for making this chowder. At the very end, I will also be adding some evaporated milk. And that gives it that white style of chowder. Now that the oyster chowder has cooked long enough, you want to add this can of evaporated milk. And that'll help cool it off also. You want to bring it back to a slight boil again. Anyway, what I'm going to do is go over here to the sink, put a little more water in, and then swish it around and add it to it, because it's evaporated some of the liquids. Still pretty hot. See if I could do this. I'm going to blow on it. So what we have in here is bacon, onion, celery, potatoes, and oysters. Now if you make clam chowder, you just do the clams instead. Make sure you use the juice from the clams too. That's really good. I have crackers over here. I like crackers, but I'm going to eat this the way it is. So I'll just get a little dish here and a little scoop and blow it off. All right, here we go. Tastes pretty good. Yummy. Little hot. Anyway, if you liked my type of video, please press like, especially if you liked this video. Hit that notification bell if you haven't already. I'm asking that you subscribe if you haven't. Tell a friend. Share it. This will go a long ways to help me make more videos. Thank you for watching. Thank you for enjoying me eating.